This week's episode is sponsored by W Energy. W Energy is an energy drink mix loaded with vitamins made right here in the USA. W is a calorie and sugar-free powdered mix that comes out to about $1 or less per drink. Go to w.gg and use the coupon code YouHateToSeeIt at checkout for 10% off. That's w.gg and use promo code YOUH82CIT. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to You Hate to See It. Make sure you follow us wherever you're listening to us and on social media and become a patron on Patreon. I'm Adam.
I'm Jeff. Do we do the outro at the beginning now?
I'm changing it up just in case people click away. They get the shit that now.
I mean, it's smart. I don't like it, but whatever.
We are not joined by Nick, and even though it's 100% not his fault, I blame Nick for the fact that we're not recording live in person.
Yeah, that's a stretch. The fact that the first episode of 2023 already does not have all three of the co-hosts is really fucking strong start.
It's it's been a rough couple weeks.
Has it?
Yeah, so we said in our last episode last year that we were going to record in person all of this year. We were going to do it. And then I've been renovating my house.
We fucking lied.
And the day that we were scheduled, the day before we were supposed to record it live, everything got fucked up technology-wise. I spent 4.5 hours on call with our reps, our rep for who gets us our equipment, with their tech team to try and figure out and fix all of the tech shit to make sure that we could record. And in the end of it, it's going to be janky, but I was willing to give it a shot. And then while I've been renovating my house, I found out that a good chunk of it was done wrong by my father, who's supposed to be the expert and not supposed to screw things up, seeing as that's what he does for a job. And he screwed things up, and it took me 3.5 hours to fix what he did. So I had to cancel recording because I still had other shit to renovate before I was even able to record. Like my basement was a disaster, so we couldn't record in the basement, and I needed at least 4 or 5 hours to get there. And I lost all that time having to fix my dad's mistake. He fucked up my staircase, so whatever. So we were like, you know what? It's not gonna work for this month. So let's just record. This is literally the day before this episode goes out, and Nick's mom got her car repossessed. Not even just towed. She didn't pay the bills in her car, so they repossessed her car. So Nick texts us. He's like, "Hey, by the way, I can't show up," and it's the day before the episode goes out. So no matter what, we had to record.
So you guys get a life update episode with only 2 of us, but we will give you a general synopsis of what happened to Nick this past year.
Yeah. So we have a lot to cover in this episode, and for anyone wanting to know how this is going to work moving forward and how this is still kind of going to work this month, just over Zoom. We're going to meet up once a month in person. We're going to record one life update episode that's going to be hopefully under 45 minutes long. And then we will each come in with topics and pray that there aren't that many months with 5 weeks in it. And so we have our 4 things to record, and we do them all in one sitting. and they get released throughout the month. And the unedited video is just that, an unedited video that will get released the first Wednesday of every month. This month's going to be weird because of the situation that we got put in, but that's
You
how it's
put
going.
us in.
I blame Nick. But that's how it's going to be. And then interviews and Drunken Jurors and Jury of Drunken Opinions are going to release on Fridays whenever we decide to do those. So, easy peasy. And the last time we did any kind of a life update, it released March 14th of 2022, but was recorded in early February.
Oh, fucking course. Oh, fucking course.
So we haven't done life updates since February of last year, really. And a lot has happened.
Uh-huh.
Mostly to the two of us, honestly. Nick's
Yeah.
been pretty stagnant. Nick has been in happy relationship. And that's it. Nick's done nothing with his life. When did he get surgery on his foot? When was the foot?
That was September of like 2 years ago or something.
Okay, that
was a while ago.
Okay.
We've talked about it. I know we have.
All right. Well, what's Nick's life updates? Let's try and. Should I just stalk his Facebook and see what
Nick
he
doesn't post on Facebook?
I know. I'll stalk Shannon's Facebook.
I feel like Nick
I don't think she
hasn't
posts...
done a fucking thing. I swear. Like,
I don't think so.
If it was life updates, it's him bitching about his grandma. Like,
yeah,
Nick's grandma still pisses him off. There we go. So does his mother, but
yeah. Well, he's in
a happy relationship. He's Nick. He's still fat. He uses the same gym as me now.
Yeah, he's working on this and not being fat anymore.
I really feel like Nick had the most relaxed year out of all three of us, which is wild.
Yeah.
With like his grandma being like insane.
I think the only that life update that involved him was our whole PR fiasco, which was this year or last year. That was wild, but we talked about that.
Yeah, on its own thing.
On the fucking other thing that we did the last episode.
Year in
and
review?
Nick was involved. Yeah, and Nick was involved in that, but not really, because the guy only would talk to me, and that was fun. He refused to talk to anyone else.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I mean, we start with, or do we want to just go month by month and give each other?
I don't even remember what happened month by month.
I don't either, really.
But what I do know is that when we recorded the last life update episode, you were engaged, and when it got released, you were no longer engaged. During the life update episode, you talked about how much you loved your fiance, and there was a lot of text. There was a lot of text messages going around being like, "Make sure Jeff doesn't listen to the episode, please, dear God."
That's just fine. I would never listen to anything we fucking put out.
Yeah, that's
I barely listen. I barely listen to the Drunken Jurors. I'm sure there's a lot of shit in the last couple of those that should have been taken out. Yeah, so the day before Valentine's Day was when that ended. That's about really all I'm going to go into with that. I mean, it's been almost a year now. No, I'm not dating anyone. No, I haven't dated anyone. It's just, I don't know. I mean, like, okay, well, let me get this out there because this is going to sound bad. I am mentally fine. Like, I am in a pretty good spot. I was in a good spot after it, honestly. It's just, I don't know. There's not a lot to say about it because I don't want to be that person that, like, I don't really have any, like, super harsh feelings. It's just really shitty, but it's life. I've moved on. I mean, nothing bad's happened to me. So, I don't know. I've been pretty much just vibing since.
Yeah.
It's been weird. It was definitely a fucking adjustment. I was in that relationship for, like, 3.5 years. So, just being out on my own after, like, even after college, I wasn't, like, just out, like, on my own. So, that was really like the only thing was just adjusting to life. Get the fuck out of here! What the fuck? Don't pop shit up. Oh no, Windows is trying to kill my computer.
Oh, that's fun.
Get out of here.
Um,
There we go.
I
Rams won the Super Bowl. That was pretty exciting. Same day, also as
Oh.
that. I got broken up with. I moved out. I sat down on the couch while they had their Galentine's Day at the place that I moved into, and I watched the Super Bowl with Nick in silence.
What a time. Let's see. I helped start a whole new hockey organization.
Wow.
That was wild. That we're still dealing with legal repercussions from
Leroy.
that. Leroy Jenkins. So my old organization has been coming at this new organization for months because every single coach was a part of the old organization, and half of the kids were parts of that old organization, and they are trying to get us shut down, saying that we recruited while we were still under contract, which we did not. But we were
when you're
actively
mad, you're mad.
We were trying to see where things went and start a thing for the spring, and shit hit the fan. So he said, "Screw you, and we'll do it in the fall too." And that's what we did, and started a whole rigmarole. So yeah, that was exciting. At the same time, I had to plan a wedding.
That was like all year, yeah.
Yeah, and that's really was my life, was between the three things of hockey organization, PR fiasco, and wedding. That was it. That's all I did.
I will say, I think the podcast took a lot, or at least early on, took up a lot of our lives.
Yeah.
At the beginning of last year, we batch recorded like
we did so much.
Once a week. We would record like 2 or 3 interviews,
yeah,
or just episodes in general, because we had Drunken Jurors, we had guests for Drunken Jurors, we had the interviews that we started, we had then the PR fallout, so we had to slam everything into a short amount of time.
And then contact everyone that we had scheduled and been like, "Hey, we're no longer affiliated. Do you still want to do an episode or not?" And rescheduled different guests to fill in for guests that we couldn't do. And the reason why we had to batch all of it was we were kind of like, when we had the PR agent, we were going to start releasing more episodes, and it, timing wise, worked out that everything fell apart when we were at like a brink of like, do we start releasing more, or do we just schedule ahead for a long time? And also we were wanting to already be like
kill each other.
3 months. Yeah, we wanted to be 3 months pre-recorded anyway, because everything with my wedding was coming up, and I was going to be unavailable for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's also where Nick and I had to divvy up editing. Like, divvy up, I mean, I edited everything.
Nick edited some things.
I do not believe you. It did not seem that way.
I got things edited from Nick. But yeah, I was basically scheduling stuff from my cell phone and getting things going while I was planning a wedding still and doing everything else. But we were done recording in September with me. You guys recorded a few things, but
yeah, I mean, the last 4 months last year, we basically it was off, besides Nick and I doing Drunken Jurors every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we were done. We were scheduled to be done with everything in end of September, beginning of October, and that it didn't work out. So we were like, let's make sure that the stuff that I set up gets done, and then the Drunken Jurors could just be done without me. But yeah, and then I got married, went on my honeymoon, came back, immediately had to start editing because all of October we recorded the music video.
We did make a music video, so if you
Yeah.
didn't see that on Taskmaster,
It's on
go pay a
YouTube.
dollar. Fuck.
It's free on the whole music video is free on YouTube.
God damn it.
There's going to be a behind the scenes coming out eventually for
Just
Patreon.
me taking a shirt on and off.
Oh, we could talk about that a little bit.
We could.
In October, you were the first thing shot
Yeah.
because I knew I only needed one shot with someone else holding the camera, and I could do the rest by myself for my personal stuff. So we did it in one day. We shot everything at your house, which included one thing of me.
Also, we should put it out there. This isn't like we recorded a music video to like a song that's already. We wrote and rapped a song.
Okay, so this all didn't happen in October. We've been writing this song since July.
Yeah.
It was
Which
like
I remember the first time we talked to, I don't know if he wants a name drop, but Benji, who's the guy. Yeah. The first time I talked to him was, I think it was 4th of July. I think I was hammered in Nick's backyard because I remember you called me over. Like, come talk to this guy. And I was like, what? I am literally in the middle of drinking around a fire. Why am I?
Oh yeah, so before that, Benji and I had been working for like a month on it because him and I were working on the beat and the mix down of just the instrumental of everything because we couldn't write any lyrics until we had the beat. So we were working on that and editing and doing that. And then it came to writing. And yeah, I'm great with writing, but I need something to like play off of. So like I could like do like parodies of songs and stuff like that. Like that I'm good with. I can't organically come up with shit to a beat. So basically I had Benji write everything for like a first draft for then the three of us to go and edit. That was hell.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst experience ever because he was trying his best and it was so stressful. There were so many phone calls. I talked to him almost every day for 2 months to write that script.
It took us a full Saturday almost to record the music video. So
yeah,
just Nick and my parts.
Yeah, so we went through the whole process and got finally Owen
The fuck is Owen?
huh?
Sorry, that edible might be hitting me.
Do
you say "oh" and?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You just yelled Owen. I was
No.
like, the fuck's Owen?
All of my lyrics were like specific. I made sure like your guys's was mostly jokes about us and things that we've done, but my lyrics were more specific to promoting and because we knew it was going to air as the halftime show for Taskmaster, I had incorporated the Taskmaster guests and contestants into my lyrics. So then literally one day one of the contestants, after the song was written and we'd already started, like I think the day that we were recording the music video with you guys, I had to rewrite my lyrics because I had one contestant back out, and so I had to find a new contestant to fill in. And so I had to write the new contestant into the show or into the lyrics. And that was hell. And we almost had to do it again, but thankfully I had already incorporated Drunken Housewife reviews and didn't want to do anything to that. So but yeah, so we shot about 3.5-4 hours at your house and then turned around, and Nick's house went by faster because most of Nick's shots were oneers,
Yeah.
which sucked for all of us because we
I
had
sat
to
in his
sit.
hot tub for
Yeah.
like 3 hours.
Nick couldn't get it right. Also, when I was editing the video of that, I couldn't record, like I couldn't be camera person because I had to be at the end of the video. So I had to rely on one of our friends to do the camera work for me for this last oneer. And there was like 6 different takes. Each of them had different issues, but we were on a time crunch, so we wrapped, and I went back and I started editing, and the only usable shot was the last one, which still had like screw ups throughout the video. And I didn't want to spend a bunch of time editing, like doing CGI work and stuff to fix stuff by merging clips together. I already had to somewhat do it to one of your shots, and I didn't want to spend the time doing it for Nick's. So I was like, all right, we're gonna deal with this. When he leans down, shows the cheese balls, like that shot is not, it's all botched. And I was like, screw it. It's being left. And then I was like, okay, great, everything's fine. And then Grace goes and walks out the door, and Nick was supposed to walk out the door, say his line, and like spiral around holding the door open for Grace. And instead, Nick just walked to the side and the screen door hit Grace. And so the
What a guy.
boom mic went down and went all throughout the shot. But that was the only good shot of the end. And there was no way I could, without spending hours CGIing the multiple shots together, there was no way I could like
Fucking
cut shots.
damn it, Nick.
So I went and I spent maybe 2 hours going frame by frame, chopping or cutting the frame, like the shot, by like I was zoomed in, like I had slowly zoomed in. So there's a shot where like the boom mic comes like right in the very bottom corner of the screen, and I just kept zooming in, and every time I'm going frame by frame, and every time I saw the mic start to enter frame, I would readjust the position of where I had zoomed into. And I just kept doing that, and then I did stabilization so that way it stopped whacking around. And then I slowly zoomed out as soon as I knew that Grace had gotten the boom mic under control. And that's all I did, because it was fucked, but it worked out. No one's commented on the video either.
I don't think anyone watched it, to be honest with you.
I thought it was gonna have a few more laughs than it did. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I didn't get to really watch it. That was like our break.
We had to piss and change outfits.
Yeah. I think really the only thing that happened to me like last year was, June? I think it was June. Yeah, June I started like powerlifting. July I became a competitive powerlifter. I did my first like just deadlift competition in August. Then the weekend before Taskmaster, I had my actual first competition. Went in, won it, left. Do it again in March.
Yeah.
That's really about it. I don't think I've done anything. Like weddings. There's quite a few weddings. I had like
There's a lot of weddings this year.
I had like 3 or 4 weddings like back to back to back for just weekend after weekend.
Yeah, I had literally so second to last weekend of September, I was a groomsman in one of my other friends' weddings in Wisconsin. And the wedding was on a Thursday,
What a fucking weird time.
and the bachelor party was on the Tuesday before. So I had to take 4 days off of work. And then still have a weekend. So I did that. I got back the following Friday. My cousin was getting married, so I had to go to her wedding. Then 3 weeks later, our friends Jordan and Kellen were getting married, and I did not go because that was also 2 weeks before my wedding, and
Yeah.
I had shit to do that did not involve driving to St. Louis.
And then we had your wedding, which was a fucking weekend ordeal.
Yeah.
And then
So the whole wedding was fine. It was the reception was pretty fine. It was at the end of the reception, shit got cray.
yeah. I would say like almost. I would argue it was like after the reception almost at that point.
Well, yeah, it was like 11 o'clock when reception was over, and then shit hit the fan in our friend group, and that's all we can say on that.
I mean, we had your bachelor party in September.
Yeah, 9/11.
9/11, yeah.
Hashtag never forget.
Never remember. Yeah, we went up to Minnesota, rented a little lake cabin, and we had a lot of plans that we ended up not doing, except for just getting absolutely hammered.
The amount of time. Remember when I spent probably 4 hours puking rally?
We made Adam throw up about 3 times in a row, but didn't let him stop drinking.
No, because I wanted to keep drinking. I was literally, also that same day we had all done edibles. So it was like that night was just rough. And I was literally, because we had gotten drunk the night before, everything was fine. The next day,
we played Magic the Gathering, then we played Irish poker. It was me, you, Nick, and Garrett.
And Aaron.
Yeah. Aaron the second night. I meant like the first. We played Magic and like Irish poker, then I think we might have watched a movie, or we might have just got even more. Oh no, Karen and I went paddleboarding at 2 a.m.
That was yeah. I think we watched Beer Fest.
No, that was when Aaron was there.
That was
the next night. Yeah.
I know we tried watching My Son, that movie that we've talked about for a year.
So we watched Black Phone.
Yeah. And then after that, we tried to watch My Son, and that's a slow movie. And so none of us paid attention.
Yeah, I think we played like 3 rounds of Irish poker while I was playing, before we decided, maybe we probably shouldn't watch this.
I think I took a nap. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah. After the edible.
So the edibles are like 2 years old. So
extra strength.
They had a delayed reaction, but also an expedited experience. So it took like an hour and a half to kick in, which for these edibles was not normal. So, but we were all
I'm on one of them right now, and I took it right before we started recording, and I'm going.
I was like sitting there. I was like, all right, yeah, we're fine. And everyone else is like, let's do another one. I was like, we shouldn't. Like, I've had enough bad experience with old edibles. We should just sit here and wait. If in 2 hours we feel nothing, then we'll take more. And about an hour and a half in, I was the first one who took it. And then Jeff took his 20 minutes later. And Nick took his 20 minutes after that. So all of a sudden we're just sitting there talking, and I just get a big ass grin on my face and just start giggling. And Jeff looks at me, he's like, oh, I see the edibles kicked in. And right as Jeff then hits his big smile giggling fit, I immediately start to zone out and get hungry. And then and we're all just 20 minutes off. And so 20 minutes later, all of a sudden I start to lose my fucking mind, and I'm going to die. I want to sleep. And then 20 minutes later, I just got up and went and took a 3-hour nap. And that's what all of us did, just 20 minutes apart.
Well, we did go out and do something. We went and saw Footloose.
Yeah. Aaron works at a theater, so we saw Footloose.
Nick ruined
Nick-
it by
yeah, Nick-
slamming a fucking large Diet Pepsi across the table.
Piece of shit.
Can't have nice shit at all. Oh god. Yeah, I don't really think there was too much else. I mean, like, yeah, then we had your wedding, and then we just I think that was the little break I got before holiday shit started, like just getting railed by all that.
Well, yeah, it was just like
Because
the whole
then I had
wedding
my
season.
yeah,
It was
it was
shit.
wedding season. I got like 2 weeks, and then it was my competition. Then we had Taskmaster, and then it was Christmas, and then
Our normal 2-week break wasn't enough.
no, it's okay. Like we
Um,
said, we were like basically done recording in September anyway. So
Yeah, I got to swim with pigs though, so that was fun.
that's true. It's true. You did get to do
They
that.
were
I've
very
done that
cute.
before, but
Yeah, there were no baby pigs, which I was upset by, but you know. There's a photo of an 800 fucking pound pig running at me in the water. I'm just sitting there, arms outstretched in the ocean, and the fucking hog is just coming at me. It was great. And
I don't think you could call your wife that already.
I think she doesn't listen to this.
It's a bad joke.
But also the people on the island were feeding the pigs hot dogs. They had hot dogs cut in quarters lengthwise, and they were dipping them in the salt water and feeding them to the pigs.
Who the
And
fuck
that's
needs
the
more
Bahamas.
salt? Who needs more salt on a
Why are
fucking
you
hot
feeding
dog?
pigs pig?
Because pigs are omnivores. They eat literally fucking anything.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I have anything else.
I don't think I have anything else either.
Nick existed. That's all I got for
Yeah,
you.
Nick was the least important person this year, honestly.
I think there's a better way to word that, but yeah.
Well, so that's episode 1 of the year.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Literally-
what were you drinking? I had an edible. I'm not drinking
Disposal
anything. I am
button.
thirsty. I am thirsty as fuck. bro.
All right, so for all of our video people, we're gonna take a quick break and record one more episode. But for all of our audio people, we'll see you next week. And if you become a patron, you can see all of the episodes. Not right now, but usually you'll see them right now. But you'll see this week and next week's episode right now.
That's
Okay,
not how
bye.
that works.